Hello, hello, hello. So, we recently saw in the news how the astronomer CEO Andy Byron and their head of HR were having an affair out in the open. And there were all kinds of talks around that one video, how people were giggling around it, how somebody was waving hands in the back, how Andy Byron is planning on suing Coldplay, what is his wife's reaction, etc., etc. But nobody is discussing how the people are actually reacting to the video on the internet. Now, most of them are actually having valid reactions, like it's bad to cheat. And especially when you're caught out in the open, you should accept that mistake and not act like a narcissist that Andy Byron is acting. But what's worse in the reaction is the reaction of some men, especially the ones who are holding a podcast. There's always this one guy telling how they could have gotten away with that video. They could have just acted normal and nothing, and nobody would have noticed them having an affair. And I'll tell you how that kind of thinking is so terrible. Now, the video that triggered me to make this video was the one with Nimesh Patel. Somebody was having a podcast with Nimesh Patel, and they were discussing how these people were like cheating out in the open and all of that. And this one dude, the one dude in every podcast, every such podcast, this man says these people could have easily gotten away if they kept hugging. They could have even easily gotten away with it if the man like reached out for a kiss in that moment. And I was so taken aback by that comment. Like, dude, don't let your intrusive thoughts out in the open like that. It's not giving you a good look. In fact, these kind of men are actually showing how they think. And I would tell you what is wrong with these kind of men. This kind of mentality enables bad behavior. They're not telling the man that this is wrong, having an affair is wrong. They're telling him that, teaching him the wrong lesson, that it's okay, it's easy to get away. You just had to be smarter. Use your genius for the wrong. Wow, what a lesson. This is how people should think. For example, somebody robbed a bank. Instead of calling out the person on the behavior, you're telling him, you could have robbed a little better. You couldn't have, if you had pulled off the robbery in a different way, you could have gotten away with it. What are you supporting here? The criminal behavior? This is what is bad with a lot of people, and they don't even realize it. And we who see this as a problem have to point it out, because the men like that are very delusional. They don't understand the problem. They don't understand the problem until you point it out. And I'm very sure even when you point it out, they will find a reason to defend themselves. What's wrong with enabling this kind of behavior is a lot of people commit crimes because a lot of people who see the problem do not speak about it. A lot of guys in their guy groups see that a person has like bad tendencies, a tendency to like commit sexual assault, domestic violence. They see it. They see how they talk. They see how they objectify women. They see a lot of what's going inside this man's brain, but they don't stop it. You know what happens when you don't stop a person like that? They actually go ahead and commit that crime. And this is where I would like to point out it's very, very, very important when you see something wrong around your friends, around your family members, you have to point it out and tell them this is not the right way to think. Because I can assure you, if you don't correct them, they have no clue that it's wrong. They think it's very normal to think like that. Okay, so take away this lesson from this video, that if you see something wrong that somebody is pointing out, you have to correct it. Okay, and if this person, this friend doesn't take it in the right way, they are not smart enough to be your friend. They are not compassionate enough. They are not in the right mentality to be your friend, and you should be that person to take that leadership, to take that step, to let people around you know when something is not right. Okay, that's the end of this video. Before I finish, the guy in the podcast also said that it was the girl's fault for reacting first, otherwise the guy would have played it cool. So even in this situation, this man is finding the fault in the woman. I mean, both of them were in the wrong, but even in this situation, this man is finding the problem with the woman. That is also one of the mentality that a lot of people around us have, not just men, also women. They find the fault in the woman first and not the man, when equally, like both of them equally are responsible for that mistake or whatever that is. So that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you found it amusing, if you think this is thought provoking. I said promoting. Thought provoking. And I'll see you again with more such videos. Bye bye.